Here is a graph of y equals sine x for x between 0 and 360. And part A says we need to use this graph to find estimates for all four solutions of sine x equals 0.6 for x between 0 and 720. So we're going to ignore this bit for a second and just focus in on this. So sine x equals 0.6. So I'm going to find 0.6 on the y-axis. So this is 0.5. And work out the scale, we can see that one little square up from that is 0.1. So this is going to be 0.6. So I'm going to draw a line there at y equals 0.6. So now we've got our line. We're going to look for the points where this line intersects the graph of sine x. So that's at this point here and this point here. So if we take a closer look, that's going to be at this point here and this point here. And we're going between 0 and 90 here. So that means here we got 30, here we got 60. And we're going between 30 and 60 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. So that means each square is going up in 6. So that means at this point here, where we have the intersection, is going to be at x equals 36. And the same for the other point of intersection. The big squares are going up in 30. So we've got 90 plus 30 going to 120 here. So that makes here we've got 150. And this is one little square back from 150. So it's going to be 150 take away 6, giving us x equals 144. Great, so that's our first two solutions. We've got x equals 36 and we've got x equals 144. But we have a little clue in the question. It's saying all four solutions, so we know we're not done yet. We've got two more to get. We've currently found the two solutions between 0 and 360. However, we're going between 0 and 720. Now this is the graph for sine x, and it takes this shape. And what actually happens is it repeats. So going on from here, it's going to do the same shape carrying on. So let's imagine that this line at y is 0.6. It carries on forever as well. Where is it going to intersect? Well, between 0 and 360, we intersected at 36 and 144. And I said that our graph is essentially starting again from 360. So it's going to intersect 36 after 360 and 144 after 360. So essentially, our graph of y equals sine x carries on. So our next two solutions are at x equals 360 plus 36, which equals 396, and x equals 360 plus 144, giving 504 degrees. So those are our final two solutions. And we get 2 marks if we get all of those. And because this question is reading off from a graph, we have a bit of leeway in our answer. So if in your answer you got a degree above or below these answers, that's okay as well. So now part B says the graph of y equals sine x is reflected in the x-axis, and we need to write down an equation of the reflected graph. And the answer here is y equals minus sine x. And this makes sense because when we're reflecting the x-axis, we're taking everything from y, so what y is equal to, and we're reflecting it, so times it by minus 1 to reflect it in the x-axis. So all these points will go down here. So since y equals to sine x, and to reflect in the x-axis, we need to take everything in y and multiply it by minus 1 to flip it over the x-axis. We've said our equation for the reflected graph is y equals minus everything that it was. So I put brackets here, say we're timesing everything by minus 1. However, because we've only got a single term of sine x, we don't really include the brackets. And we write it like this. And if you get that, you get 1 mark. Now in part C, we're told that here we've got a graph of y equals f of x. And on the grid, we want to draw the graph of y equals f of x minus 2. So what this is saying is that we want to translate by vector to 0. And this top part of the column vector represents left-right movement, and the bottom part represents up-down. Well, the bottom part is 0, so we're not going to move up and down. And the top part is plus 2, which means we're going to move 2 to the right. So I'm going to first look at this point here. So if we move that 2 to the right, we're going to go 1, 2, and that's now going to go to here. Now this point, 1, 2, is going to be here. And if we keep doing this for other points, we'll start to see the shape form. So I'm going to go for this point here. So 1, 2, and then we're going to go here. 1, 2. If I do this one, we're going to go 1, 2, up here. And now I reckon I've got enough to draw the shape. So taking our ruler, we're going to join everything up. And if we draw everything in the right place like that, we get 1 mark.